Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know. It is October 4th, 2025. It's early Sunday morning, and I'm enjoying some nice weather here in Northern California. And I am going to do something in this video that I haven't done previously, I think, and that is it's not going to be a sermon. I don't want to call it a sermon, but it's going to be something akin to that, and I wouldn't be able to defend accusations if you call it a sermon. So whatever, let's just call it what it is. So this is going to be about Christians for pay. Christians for pay. What does that mean? Well, it's pretty obvious on the surface what it means. Christians who are good people, generous people, kind people, who exemplify the golden rule right up until that point where some effort is involved, right up until that point where there's a bill to pay, so to speak, where there might be an element of courage needed or called for, or when their own skin is anywhere in the mix, so to speak. And unfortunately, very unfortunately, this is the vast majority of people, Christian people, that is. I mean, there are obviously good Christians. Jesus Christ was a good Christian, and I want to talk just a little bit about that for a second. Jesus Christ did not create Christianity. I'm going to say that again. Jesus Christ did not invent it. He didn't discover it. He did not even propose it. What he did is he communicated it. He communicated the truth. Jesus Christ had insight and wisdom into the underlying wiring of our world and our universe and humanity itself. He understood things and was able to communicate them, being a talented communicator. And he was celebrated by his followers at the time, and obviously since then. His wisdom is recorded and repeated to the best of our ability. But he didn't invent Christianity. So he was one of those few people, the rare people, who is not Christian for pay. He just did the right thing, up to and including sacrificing himself, apparently, to save his own people. And the rest is history. But my point here in this video is that Christian values have nothing to do with other people's reactions. They have nothing to do with how easy or hard something is, how convenient it is, who's possibly involved or maybe making threats against you. And in fact, it is at these times when a Christian has an opportunity to actually demonstrate their Christianity, right? Before then, I mean, okay, so you threw in a few bucks to the collection plate. Great, that's wonderful. Thank you for that. So you went to church. That's cool. And so you talk the talk, so to speak. Talk is cheap, they say. Here's one we haven't heard in a while. Talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words, and I am inspired. I'm going to just tell you what the impetus is for this video, and that is recent events. That is a pastor, oh, I'm not going to name names, a local pastor that I know reached out to me with her generous Christian hand and gave me her phone number as a possible line of support if I ever needed it. Personally, I don't need support. I'm pretty covered at the moment, but some of my family could use some help. So after trying for a couple of weeks, I'm not going to get too personal here, not naming any names or going into detail, but I am going to give an overview of what happened as an example. After trying for a couple of weeks to connect this phone number with someone who could use it, I found out that this lady had changed her mind completely, because she claims, and she can't stop claiming every time I try to talk to her, that, it's inconvenient all of a sudden because Social Security is drying up. We haven't even talked about what you're offering. This is what I've said so far about her offer is all I know about it. Okay, so I'm sorry to hear about your Social Security. What does that have to do with you giving me your phone number? I'm not asking for support. I'm not asking for money. Not asking for anything. I have no expectations whatsoever. And I told her this, but it's just funny. She's not only a Christian, a self-titled Christian, she's a Christian pastor. And she has assumed completely that this number she gave out represents a financial liability to her somehow. And even if it did, here's my point, right? This is where it gets funny. Even if it did, even if I was needy, which I'm not, and I called her up asking for money, is she not a fucking Christian? I'm sorry. Pardon my language. Is she not a Christian? What's she even doing? What's she doing? Why is she even giving out her number? I don't understand. These people baffle me. They baffle me. They can't walk the walk. It's called lip service. Lip service. They show up so that they'll feel better. They show up to church so that they'll feel better. Like they paid their dues by being there. And they're not going to lift a finger elsewise, if that's even a word. I want to shout out to the real actual people who are putting in the time. People who actually stand by their values, especially when it gets difficult, when there's an opportunity to be courageous, to do the right thing in spite of difficulty, and to actually push that rock up the hill just a little bit versus taking something every day from other people while praising the name of the Lord. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear people praising the name of the Lord. I want to see it. I want to see them do something or get that word out of your mouth, like Will Smith said. I hope everybody has a great Sunday. Reach out with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.